ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for another episode of a MES podcast, everyone's favorite football podcast. I am here with Pablo and Buga. We got the three kings in the house. You may have just been coming off of our bonus content episode with Buga and myself, where we did an initial reaction, some player ratings for Barcelona winning the Supercopa over Real Madrid, 5-2, big victory. So here today in the full episode, like I said, we got Pablo joining us. We're going to do a full review of the Supercopa. We'll talk about the drama around Dani Olmo. We'll talk about the rumors and the drama starting around Araujo. We'll get into a little Copa del Rey preview. Barcelona have Betis coming up here on Wednesday. And then, of course, we'll cap it off with a preview for Getafe. Lots of Barcelona action to discuss here. So before we get into it, make sure you drop a like. Make sure you're subscribed. We'd love to hear your comments down below as we discuss all things Barcelona. We want to get your thoughts, your questions, your opinions as we continue to grow this channel. So welcome, everybody. Let's dive in. We're going to start with Pablo, since you missed the conversation yesterday. How we doing, sir? How are you feeling after that win?
Yeah, I mean, pretty happy as a Barca fan. Pretty buzzing. I mean, I'm trying to think back to before the Supercopa, and I think I remember saying to people around me, I said, do you see any way we win this right now? And I think they all sort of agreed, no, not really. Why are you laughing? Just because, just because the way we came off the back in La Liga, even when we played well against Atleti, we didn't win, we lost in the last minute. I don't know, it just felt like Real were in a stronger point in the season. For us to win in that manner, I think is quite something. And I know there's a lot of talk going around today of like, what on earth just happened? But that was one of the most mental clásicos in recent history. It really was, with everything that happened. So yeah, I mean, pretty happy with how things went, obviously, and yeah, delighted.
Yeah, absolutely. We did some player ratings yesterday. Of course, gave out our man of the match. Who was maybe a top performer or two for you, Pablo? Who stood out to you?
I went to Rafinha for my man of the match, who I think has become the guy. I think he's become the guy this season for Barcelona. I put Lamine second. What I love about Lamine is that he steps up in big games. He's a big game player. And I also thought Casado was superb, especially without the ball. It was close between him and Pedri. I thought they were both immense, but I went Casado. I just remembered it feels like extra time in that second half when we had 10 men and it was backs against the wall, really, or at least attack versus defense. The way he won the ball back so many times and was so gritty in midfield. But Rafinha is the guy for Barca right now. He really is.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we continue on there, I don't want to leave Buga silent for too long. Buga, how you feeling today, buddy?
I'm feeling good, baby. Let's go. I changed my Instagram to an image of Rafinha.
Did you now?
I did. And a girl DM'd me. That never happens.
Wow.
That's a lie, by the way. That's a lie.
It's true, bro. It's
Buga
true.
never gets DMs from any of those.
I never get DMs. But I've been getting more DMs. And she said, who is the guy in your picture? And I said, Rafinha from Barca. And then she was like, oh, nice. Rafinha, what are you doing this Friday? She told me.
No.
Let's go. Rafinha's getting Buga some dates.
No way.
Oh.
Wait,
are you kidding me?
Are you being serious?
Yeah, I can show you. I'll show you a picture.
By the way, for the viewers, if anyone's like worried, like I'm getting a lot from the US, Buga comes from a different world that me and John have to get our head around too. Like, it's free reign out there, isn't it? It's like in the UK, I know maybe for you in the US, John, like you got to play a little bit. Buga just sits there, slaps a picture of Rafinha on his Instagram, and girls are saying Friday night.
Look,
like, it's a different sport. It's a different sport, and I respect it.
It's a different sport.
It's a different sport. It's easy. It's like Kings League compared to football over here.
Yeah, exactly. Buga's playing on the easy level, the novice level.
Oh my god, he hasn't even.
I'm not joking.
I can't believe it, man.
Am I joking, Pablo?
No, I can't. I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
Rafinha just got me laid.
Buga just sent us the screenshot of the conversation. You haven't replied yet, Buga.
No.
What? Oh no, I don't.
Playing it cool.
I don't like. I don't like. I don't like the new Buga.
You guys are too young to know this.
I don't like it either. Honestly, I would like to have more time to just do YouTube videos.
Oh my god! Nah. Yeah. Poor Buga with his line of women just waiting to get his attention. Oh my goodness! You guys are too young for this. But there's a movie called Swingers. Have you ever seen this movie with Vince Vaughn and Jon Favreau? This came out in the 90s. You guys weren't even born yet. You weren't even born yet. But there's a scene, right, where they discuss when you get somebody's number, how long do you wait to call them, right? Back when, you would have to get somebody's number and call them. You can't just get somebody's Instagram and yada, yada, yada. And there's a scene in there where they articulate the importance of waiting the right amount of time. Yeah. And this is what it reminds me of with Buga here, how he just instinctively knows to leave him on red. Indeed.
Look
all right. Anyway, we are back. Little hiccup there. We might have one or two of those in the episode as we work out our technical problems. Baby Buga and his camera not behaving today. So we got our conversation interrupted there for a second, but we're back. Should we rein it back into football, gents? Okay. We could talk about Buga and his love life for quite some time.
We could, yeah. We could.
So let's rein it back in. A couple points from the match that I do want to get, Pablo, your opinions on.
I just want to say, Rafinha giving the assists off and
hey! I like that. I do like that. Yeah. Gosh, Buga, you're ridiculous. Anyway, Pablo, what are your thoughts on the Szczesny red card? It didn't really hurt us, right? It obviously killed our momentum in terms of the goal output on the attacking side, but no harm, no foul, as they say. We still had quite a big lead, still ended up with a win. Where do you put that in terms of an error for Szczesny? How big deal, no deal? What was your reaction there?
Yes, it's a fair point, to be fair. Obviously, it doesn't feel like a big deal because we were 5-1 up at the time when it happened. Yeah, I mean, that 0-0, it could have been a big deal. I think you probably are going to get that with Szczesny. I think he's actually been better than I thought he would be, and maybe we all thought he would be with, retiring and whatnot. But there's clearly still a top goalkeeper in there. Yeah, I think misjudgments off his line and things like that might come. I think the other day against Athletic Club, there was a ball that he misjudged and he had to run back into his penalty area to sweep out with Iñaki Williams bearing down on him. So I think a few moments of that we will see. Shot stopping, I think he'll be okay at, but it was moments of that could come as an error. Look, the good thing for Barça was that, Iñaki Peña came on and was fine in the end. When we conceded from the resulting free kick, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I was thinking this could be one of the most ridiculous final defeats of all time, by the way, being 5-1 up and looking like it was going to be 8 to then, I'm saying, drawing 5-5 and then losing on penalties, for example, and I was thinking, this genuinely could be one of the most ridiculous football matches that or maybe the most ridiculous one I've ever seen. But thankfully, I think Real Madrid were actually killed morale-wise by then. I really do. I think if anything, unlike a usual Real Madrid, I think they saw the red card as thank God this isn't going to be 8. We'll just keep it at 5-2. Fine. 3-goal margin is, with the way this game has gone, that's fine for us, is the vibe I sort of got, because obviously they were probing. Obviously they had the ball, and credit to Barcelona for the way they defended, but they didn't, bombard us. I thought this is going to be, this is not one of the teams you want to do this against in Real Madrid. And in the end, as Buga's coming, let me just finish this and then we'll wrap up with Buga. But in the end, we survived the situation. Sorry, I can't help it. But no, so in terms of Szczesny, I mean, yeah, it was an error, but he's a funny player, man, honestly. The Szczesny story does make me laugh. I don't know about you guys, just coming here, retired off Marbella, rocks up, plays in the Super Cup final, wins a trophy in the Clásico against Real Madrid. Do you know what I mean? It's just what is going on? But no, it was good in the end.
Yeah. All right, pause there. Fix Buga's camera. All right, we're back again. Camera issues and all. We're moving forward. So Pablo was just giving his take on Szczesny. Before we get into Dani Olmo and Araujo and Copa del Rey and Getafe and all of those things, any other talking points, Pablo, that you want to get in since you weren't around yesterday?
Yeah, I suppose a few points. How superior were Barcelona to Real Madrid? I know that's a general term I want to throw out. We've got to think of a few. Sorry, go on, John.
I was going to say, I don't think at any point in time, even when Real Madrid scored the goal early, I was like, little slip up. I'm not too concerned about it. There was a moment where I was like, this might fall out of hand, but I kind of quickly wiped that away and felt like we're gonna get things on track.
Completely agree. We had 2 clear-cut chances before they even scored their first goal. And I mean, look back to the summer and the team Real Madrid built. look at Barcelona's team on paper with injuries and whatnot on the state of the team. And I think everyone said, Real Madrid are going to blow Barcelona out the water this season. Barcelona scored 9 goals in 2 games against them. That's a pretty mental stat. It really is. That's a damning statistic. For me, the most crazy thing is that I look at Barcelona right now and I see them as the most superior team in Spain by quite a distance, actually. I think they're much better than Atleti. We saw that at the end of December, much better. Lost that game ridiculously. They're clearly much better than Real Madrid too as a team. They really are. How are we 5 and 6 points behind the two in the league? Then that'll be the tough pill to swallow for Barca right now, that they'll have to somehow get over, and have to come back in the league. Because, look at yesterday. Any Madrid fan would tell you these guys are so much better than us. We've got work to do, And I suppose that leads me on to my second point is, what effect will this have on the rest of the season? That is my question. I think the only good thing Real Madrid have got is, I think they're very good at brushing these things away and getting on with it. Think about the 4-0 defeat. We all thought this is going to be one of those leagues where Barca win it by 15 points. Real is 5 points clear of us now. And then we were 9 points clear of them at one point after we beat Espanyol. It's like, things change very, very quickly in football, and Real Madrid are very good at knowing that. And I just thought to myself, imagine if Barcelona lost that game 5-2 yesterday in the manner that Real Madrid did. I think we would be out for the season. Yeah. I don't know how you guys feel. I think we would be thinking, can we finish third? And that is it. We would forget about the Champions League, forget about the Cup, forget about anything, forget about challenging even for the league. In my opinion, if we lost in that manner, not just 5-2, because you can get heavy scorelines or whatnot, unfortunately, on the counter-attack or something, but in that manner, getting torn apart for 90 minutes like that. Well, not 90 because of the red card, and I think that's the good thing Real Madrid have got for themselves. That I don't think it will have a huge, huge effect on the season, but I do think it can be a reminder to Barcelona to say, those bad results don't define us, we have been a very good team this season, and I maybe forgot it too in that bad stretch in December, so we've got to get back to how good we've been under Flick, and last night was a bit of a reminder of that for me.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. We talked a little bit about, before we hit record on this, how much weight the Supercopa actually carries, and I think going into this, I think Barcelona had more to lose than they did to gain from this tournament. Like I was sharing before, like I said, it almost felt like the La Liga match carried a bit more weight to it. Like that was a more important match than this final. And maybe I'm saying that because we won. When you bring up that question, what would the reaction have been if Barcelona lost? I'm thinking about it for the first time here. I do think it would have been devastating. I don't think we'd be able to just shake it off in the way that Real Madrid's going to be able to do. So I think yes, it's good that we won, but it's more important that we didn't lose, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Buga, where are you at with things?
I think that when I take a look at this, I look at Barcelona and I think it's a team that is much more about moments than rather about, consistency. I think that's the really big problem we have right now with Flick's team, is that we're not consistent enough. I think that if we take a look at this team and let's say Champions League, I think we can generally beat any team out there in the world right now. I really do think that in terms of performances, we can beat them. But a league title, I think it's much harder to do with a team like this, because consistency, I don't know whether we will be able to put these sort of performances with 23 players at our disposal. I don't know whether Ferran Torres can recreate the sort of performances that Rafinha can do, or be able to be as silky with the ball as someone like Lamine Yamal. Pau Victor is not going to be able to do the first touch like he did, like Lewandowski did, or score a penalty like Tito did. So I think these things are really showing that Barcelona lack a little bit more in the terms of the squad depth. I think it really shows. And also, like I said, consistency-wise, I think that maybe that's where we're lacking a little bit. And I do not know whether this team is one that perhaps is going to be able to compete in the league as we wanted to, because we don't have that consistency. But I do expect that maybe when it comes to those cup matches, we can turn up, particularly if Flick does end up prioritizing that. So I wanted to ask you guys, would you see this as a successful season if Barcelona, for instance, I don't know, managed to get to the finals of all of the Copa del Rey and UCL, for instance, and let's say we didn't win, let's say we won a Copa del Rey and we got to the final of the UCL, and you lose La Liga by 1 point. and you win El Clásico. With another goleada, with another, hammering of Real Madrid.
I would take that.
But you lose to Atletico Madrid in La Liga.
I don't like that result, but I would take that overall. If at the end of this season you offered me Supercopa, Copa del Rey, and a respectful performance in a Champions League final, but we lose La Liga, even if we ended up third in La Liga, I would take that as a big step forward. Because to your point, I think the only thing we're missing at that stage is the consistency, and that will come with the experience. I mean, we had, I think, 9 players who were under 25 play in the final, something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments, but it's something around that. So yeah, if you give me, we perform well in tournaments and we get a trophy or two, and we just have to work out some kinks, maybe strengthen the bench a little bit to get that consistency, I'll take that as a big step forward.
Yeah, I suppose also, like, we won La Liga with Xavi, and obviously then couldn't compete in Europe with Xavi. So it's like, you're saying, John, if we get over the line in the bit that we're bad at, we know we can, with experience, win a league.
Yeah, I think consistency right now is a problem with this team more than anything, if I'm being honest. And another point that I know that we didn't touch upon, John, that I think I want Pablo to go over is the Araujo situation. Because I think that I did mention with John yesterday, Pablo, that I think that Araujo coming in was a very big talking point when I saw it happen. I saw Araujo coming in and I was initially very surprised, and I was like, okay, this is very telling. What's going to happen? What's going to be his performance? What's going to be his point to prove? How's this going to go? What's going to be the, el recibimiento? How do you say that in English? What's going to be?
I don't know that word, I'm afraid, mate.
But you know what I mean.
The reaction.
Yeah, what's going to be the reaction of the crowd?
Procedimiento. No, I don't know that word, mate. Sorry.
No? You've never heard
actually, no, genuinely, I never have, honestly.
How is it going to be received by the crowd, by the fans?
With a B.
Yeah.
Not with a D, yeah, of course. Yeah. How he was received by the crowd, yeah. Sorry, I thought you said recedimiento. So what is that?
No. How's it going to be received by the crowd and everything? So yeah, very big talking point, because I think that with Íñigo being injured, everything can change now.
Yeah. I think it does change. I wonder what reports were true and what weren't. Obviously, I don't have a clue. You feel as though maybe he would have wanted to leave in January, right? But now I don't think he's able to leave. I mean, I don't know the Christensen situation, when on earth he's going to be back, but I think, to be fair to Araujo, he steps up yesterday with the armband on. I thought he performed really well, actually, in the final overall. Next to Koubarsi there, I thought he did a really good job off the bench. Not an easy moment either in the game. Big miss with Íñigo Martínez it is, but we can't afford to sell Araujo now. And I want to say one thing. We need to get real as well about the prices we're setting here. We need to understand, if we're selling to Juventus, it's gonna be a loan. Ronald Araujo, at his age and what he's done in his career and the way he's ranked worldwide, thought of as a centre-back, he's a 70 million player. We can't be doing this loan with obligation to buy of 35 million or something. It's no, come on. He's not just a second-team winger, This is someone who people believe is one of the best centre-backs in Europe. It's 70 million for me or nothing. The only problem is his contract ends in 2026, so that does obviously become a problem that maybe I'd accept more towards 50, 55. Okay. But, less than that, and I'm like, get out of here. And I think especially now with the injury to Íñigo, I think, does he stay automatically? I think he does.
I think so too. I don't think there's any way we can let him go now.
No.
I think that was the universe giving us a clear sign that Araujo needs to stay.
Even him.
Yes. And for me, he is top 5 in the world. I think long injury this season, people have kind of forgot about that. But, some of what Buga and I were talking about is the noticeable difference in physical presence, in tenacity, even just being a threat aerially on the attack side. There's a big difference going from Martinez to Araujo. and I love what Martinez has done this season. I am a huge supporter, especially of an old man hanging on past his prime. Big fan of that. But at the end of the day, yeah, we don't know what's going on with Christensen. We're not going to rely on Garcia. So what are we even doing? And amen to everything that you said about the price tag. If 50 million is a bargain, I think, for Araujo. Yes, the contract length matters. Otherwise, it would be closer to, I think, 70. But for a top 5 center back, even if you wanted to argue against me, he's top 10. I won't accept any arguments of him not being in the top 10 center backs in the world. I would say top 5 even. So it would be such a huge mistake. And I don't know if you guys saw after the match, Gavi, Lewandowski, and I think Rafinha as well, all trying to get the supporters to pay attention and show some love to Araujo. Like they know what's going on. They know what's at stake.
Yeah, for sure. This is like a good time actually to. I wasn't going to bring one up because it didn't really match now, but of like a comment of the week. I was just looking through earlier of the comments on yesterday's video that you guys did. And by the way, everyone listening, this is something we want to do a bit more. Pick out a comment and discuss it a little bit. So keep going in there. We do read all of them. From JC Bongo, I don't know if I said that right. JC or Jackie maybe. He said, I've said for weeks that Araujo returning will be crucial. And here, even when we were down to 10, we had someone who had that pace and physicality to help us cover and to help us out and cover ground. That's what you were saying, John, no?
Yeah, 100%. I think that's a good shout. I think the money that we would get for Araujo doesn't match, because who are we gonna buy? Who are we gonna buy with that money?
No one.
What center back
and I always
would
go back
come close?
To when you look at Flickball and what they do, like when you look at just simply, there are instances where you're gonna be 5-1 up, like in this game, and you're gonna be exposed like Mbappe, like Mbappe did.
Yeah.
Araujo is probably one of the only defenders in the world that has the pace, the strength to be able to match someone and cover up the ground when you have such a high line to do that. Maybe not against Bradley Barcola because there was such a big gap there, or instances like that. It's going to happen. But I mean, he's one of the only capable players at doing that. And it's such a key aspect of a defender that nowadays is easily just worth more than 50 million. So like you were saying, guys, I think that this is a player that we must maintain, we must keep at all costs. And I do not know who can replace that, because there's not like other players out there that can just simply give us what we have here in a player of 25 years of age. Like, come on, we're talking about a 25-year-old here.
Yeah,
he's still like a player in his prime,
Yes. I would say just entering his prime, maybe not even in it yet. I mean, exactly. I think, center backs, I think, fall in line with goalkeepers, where really later in age is really when you can hit your prime. I know maybe you lose a step in terms of pace, but I'll point to Inigo Martinez having probably the best season of his career right now. Yeah. So it's not all about the athleticism. It's a lot of it is, I think, about reading the game. So I would say maybe entering, maybe not even in his prime yet. So I'm hands down got to keep Araujo.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'm wondering if it's just a case where, because Inigo's out for what people are saying, like 5 weeks, something like that. I'm wondering if that'll give time for Araujo and Cubarsí to build up their chemistry. And then maybe it does become a situation where we have one center back pairing for La Liga and Champions League and another one for Copa del Rey and some of the lesser La Liga matches, which is, I think, what we would have expected to see without any injuries at the beginning of this season.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully Christensen comes back in too. That'll be big for us as well. So,
yes. A player that we did see return, Dani Olmo, missed the semifinal, but he is now officially registered. Right, that's a done case. There's no going back. There's no more court rulings happening. It's been weeks now, and we haven't really talked about it much. What has been your reaction to this? What's been where's your head been at during this whole journey as Buga's doing the Dani Olmo celebration? What's been your thoughts on this whole Dani Olmo situation and Pau Victor? I don't want to overlook him, but obviously Dani Olmo is the bigger name of the two.
Go on, Buga.
Poor Pau Victor. Imagine being Pau Victor and not even getting your name in the headlines. You know,
I'm sure he's just happy to be registered at this point. Definitely not as big of a name as Dani Olmo.
Are we talking about like Dani Olmo now or about the entirety of the situation during the week?
Whatever your thoughts are, Buga. Whatever you want to share. This is your space. This is your time.
Because honestly, like, was I ever worried that he was not gonna be registered? I'm telling you, not really. Why do I say this?
Really?
Yeah, I was not worried. I always knew there's always gotta be a way. Like, come on, this it's politics at the end of the day. Like, either we're gonna do something really corrupt and someone's gonna go to jail and then everyone's gonna get registered, or like I was really not seeing any problem with it. What I'm very surprised about is the amount of criticism and the amount of simply backlash from the other clubs. Like,
sure,
the amount of opinions from managers, from presidents that actually like come in and comment about the club and comment about like the dire situation and things about it going on. Like, that's what I was very surprised about. I was like, what the hell do you care about this? You know, it's like, this is not your place to smell. You know, go smell somewhere else.
I mean, I think if that comes from them saying, like, I think there have been situations in the Liga before where they haven't been able to register a player and they've been there without being able to play for the rest of the season. And their argument will be when it's Barcelona and it's like a big player like Dani Olmo, of course, that everything gets moved and everything gets allowed. That's what I mean. I don't know the ins and outs of how it was done. Or I think Barcelona sold the VIP seats in the end for 100 million, however many of them, you know, over the next 30 years or whatever it was. Which could also come back to bite us in the end. It's like a mini palanca in the end, if you like, because, you know, you got to think about how much those seats could cost in 30 or 20 years' time. You know, could be way more than what we sold them for now. But in the end, it gives us not an ingreso? What's the word? Like,
income.
Yeah. It gives us income that, like, you know, it allows us to register these two guys now, I believe anyway. But I don't, not that I understand, but I think the same would have happened if Real Madrid did it. The smaller clubs always think that it's us against Barca and Madrid. I think, anyway, is very much the feeling in Spain is like these two, like, the adored by everyone, and we're just left here to pick up the scraps. It's like when we go to the Supercup, for example, and Mallorca get paid nothing for going, and Real Madrid and Barcelona get paid a lot. And I think Real Madrid and Barcelona both paid 200,000 each to Mallorca, so they at least got 400k extra on top. Do you know what I mean? It's that sort of vibe, I think, is what they're getting at.
Yeah, the other thing that I don't get is that there was a reaction from Laporta, which is a big deal in South America, in Latin American countries. You know, the gesture that he did?
Yeah. The Butifara.
Not familiar. As the resident gringo on the channel, I am not familiar with this.
Is that what you call it, Pablo?
I think so.
I call it el cortar, como que un cortada de mangas.
Sorry, not a Butifara. Sorry, that's
Butifara is a sandwich.
It's not a sandwich. It's not a sandwich. It is for you, but it's like it's like a Catalan sausage.
What? What are we talking about?
It is. It's like a...
Okay, thing is that Laporta did that gesture, I think, to celebrate that Dani Olmo did.
Sorry. We do call it a Butifara here, yeah.
What? Are we the celebration or the gesture?
Yeah, the gesture he did. You're saying the gesture with his hands, yeah? No, that is also a Catalan sausage.
Don't do it. Why are you doing it?
Is that a really bad gesture, by the way?
It's supposed to be like a rude. It's like saying it's like a word showing off the middle finger.
What is the gesture?
Like doing your. Imagine this is my hands.
You're acting like it's so deep. Okay. I swear you can do it. It's really not. I don't think that's that.
That's not. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's different in Central and South America. In the States, that's a watered down version of the middle finger.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
like you could get away with that in public places. That's not a big deal.
What is it? It's meant to be like take it, you know, no?
Well, the thing is that in Spain, they were doing like a whole.
Yeah.
In Spain, they were doing like a whole like thing like, oh, Laporta must dimitir and like what?
Yeah.
And like things like that, and I'm like, bro, chill the hell out. You know, it's like you're not supposed to have a camera in there anyway. So like,
I like it. I don't mind that at all. I don't mind him being like, hey, we got him signed. Up yours. You're not going to stop us. I don't mind that at all.
What the hell? Like,
I'm for it. Good for you, John Laporta.
Who knows? Maybe I'm doing the La Butifara, like Pablo says every time I play against a 10-year-old in FIFA. Like, who cares?
I'm into that.
Yeah. Screw the 10-year-olds in FIFA.
Anyway, how did we get here?
I was just saying. I was just saying, like, people need to mind their own business. What the hell, you know?
Sure.
Like,
I'm with you on that too. I think there I could see how if I was part of another club, I would feel a little bit slighted that Barcelona and Real Madrid sometimes seemingly get favors. But you got to keep in mind there is a business aspect to this. And sometimes what's good for Barcelona, what's good for Real Madrid is what's good for La Liga, which means it's good for the other clubs as well. There's a fine balance to that.
Yeah, that is the issue. That's completely it, John. Is that's it? You know, that is why it also interests Florentino Perez for Barcelona to be somewhat strong. Imagine if Barcelona become a mid-table team. You know, what would happen to Real Madrid? You know, it does also change everything. And likewise for us. Imagine if Real Madrid fell off. What would we be doing? Just winning the league every year, yeah, like PSG. Do you know what I mean? Like it interests both parties, and you're completely right, John. Like for La Liga, it really interests them that Barca and Madrid are still strong, and that games like yesterday happen. It really does.
Of course, it's if Barcelona shows the slightest possibility of signing Haaland, La Liga will be like, go get them, go get him, because they want to build stuff like that, you know.
But then transfer rumors.
But then at the same time, like they do also kill us, like FFP. We also can't sign or register anyone. I'm just trying to think both ways, you know. Like I do think they do want us to be good enough, but then I think about it, like, we can't sign anyone.
Yeah, that's what. Okay, that's one thing I wanted to bring up. As soon as we actually got him registered, a minute later, we have rumors of trying to sign Marcus Rashford. And I'm just like, guys, what are you? Listen. I don't know all the ins and outs, the details around registering current players versus registering a new player coming in. Yeah. Maybe the thought is we're gonna sell a player or two in January and then sign Rashford. Like, I don't know, but the audacity of the Barcelona fan base to go, oh well, now that Olmo's registered, let's go ahead and take a look at what big signing we want to bring in. Marcus Rashford. Let's talk about that.
I wouldn't mind Rashford.
I wouldn't mind him, sure, but it's like you pay off a credit card and then immediately put yourself back in debt.
Yeah,
that's what it is. It's like you had a credit card bill coming. Your rent was due. You got minus 100 in the bank. You borrow money from an uncle, from a cousin, from a whatever. You get the credit card paid off. You barely pay rent. And then you go, okay, I think I'll plan a vacation. Like, no, dude. Buga's like, what's wrong with that? Yeah, that's how that works.
For life, yeah. No, it's completely that. It does strike me as that is such an agent piece of news, that though. Rashford is not getting it.
When I went to the UK, all my friends from the UK were like, paying your student debt? What's that? You should just leave it for your kids. Every UK friend told me that.
Mate, it is mad, by the way. I just looked at mine the other day. Jesus Christ.
Like, everyone was like, the government don't even chase you. They don't even care.
They've chased me quite a bit, actually.
Yeah, why do you think Pablo's like hiding out in Spain now?
They're like, FFP coming for you. They're like,
and the interest on it is absolutely mental, by the way. It's about 7.something%. I thought it was a certain amount, and then I checked this year, and I was like, oh my. Anyway, the Rashford rumor strikes me as agent talk because he wants to leave Man U and he's probably going to end up in Serie A. But that strikes me as like agent going, filter that through to Barcelona, get it in there. I don't think he comes to Barcelona, but the timing of it was hilarious. Yeah, I completely agree, John.
I don't see it happening. I would love it. I'm a big fan of Rashford.
Really,
I think he'd fit in pretty well. Yeah, because he also has versatility. I mean, he can play on the left wing. He can play through the middle.
He would fit in so well, like coming minute 60, open space.
But again, let me back up though. Rafinha is my left wing.
Yeah, but that's what we were talking about. Remember, we were saying you don't need a starter.
We don't need to spend big. We don't need a starting left winger. Rafinha is my starter. Lamine is my starter. Pocket that money for when we have to replace Lewandowski. That's my plan. That's what I would prefer.
We should do an episode where we each bring our candidate to replace Lewandowski and we debate it.
Put that one in for the future.
Yes,
we'll make it happen.
Put it on your list of terrors.
Yeah, exactly. I know we have a special guest coming in next week that's going to give us a little bit more insight on that Olmo registration fiasco. Let's put a pin in that for now. Let's go ahead and jump forward here, folks. We got Betis coming up in the Copa del Rey. So let's do a little match preview. Let's get our lineups in. Let's get our predictions in. We did just play Betis on the 7th of December.
Vitor Roque hat-trick.
What's that?
Vitor Roque hat-trick.
Not quite. That's not going to happen. No, rejected. But in that La Liga fixture, it was a 2-2 draw. We scored first, Lewandowski getting us on the board. Then we gave up a penalty. And then Ferran Torres got what we thought was going to be a late winner, only for us to concede in stoppage time there. So going into this Copa del Rey fixture, are we thinking it's going to be more of the same? Are we going to see a different Barcelona? What are we thinking going into this? Are we worried at all against Real Betis?
This strikes me as a massive banana skin.
Yeah.
Because I think Real Betis is going to come into the game full of energy, fresher than us for sure. And I think they'll be spending blood a little bit. And I think we're going to come in rotated, tired from the trip and a week in Saudi Arabia. Like I said, mix and match players. We know our bench isn't very strong this season. I'm expecting the likes of Gerard Martin, the Pablo Torres to start, Ferran Torres, the likes of Lamine, Rafinha, Casado, Pedri, Balde to be rested. Obviously, Inigo won't be there.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't think we're going to come out with a strong squad?
Not all of those will be rested, but I think one of Rafinha and Lamine for sure. At least one of Casado and Pedri for sure. Balde, I think, will be rested for sure. I think the centre backs will probably stay Araujo, Cubarsí, but my point is it's going to be a bit of a mix and match team, and I think Betis is going to come in full strength, and I'm going to the game as well, so hopefully we win.
Oh. Buga, what do you think? Heavy rotations, light rotations?
I think we shouldn't rotate that much because, like Pablo is saying, it's a banana skin in the sense that Betis is always a very hard game. It's always one of those gun-ho games in the sense that whoever scores more... Like, you can never bet on a clean sheet against Real Betis. Like, you're going to lose money there 100%. Never. It's always Betis always gonna score against you. You're always gonna score against them. It's always gonna hold against Barcelona. They always have a high line. We're always gonna score against each other. So it's a little bit worrying. I think that maybe Ferran Torres is gonna play 100%. I don't know who of Lamine, Rafinha is gonna be rested. I expect maybe Lewandowski to be taken off early. Fermin is definitely gonna be playing. You're gonna see some rotations, but I don't expect a full, new 11. Per se, but it's going to be a hard game. I do see this being a hard game. My actual worry would be that I do not want it to go to extra time. I think that will be a very big problem with it. It's at Montjuic, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that if it's not like still it's our home ground, it's not our backyard like Camp Nou always.
Yeah, we've dropped. Plenty of points.
Yeah. It's a big problem.
Speaking of dropping things, Pablo, get your stuff together. My goodness.
So
just my headphones are coming down.
So yeah, I don't know. Let's see how it goes. But I think that Barcelona should be winning this. But I think it's gonna be a tight game. I would say maybe a high scoring affair. I'm gonna go a 3-2 win for Barcelona.
3-2 for Barca. All right. Well, if we're getting to predictions before we secure a lineup, I'm gonna go 3-1 Barca.
All right.
And I at first coming into this conversation, I would have said we're going with a full squad, but we do have La Liga coming up on the weekend. We are traveling back from Saudi Arabia. I could see us resting. I'm going to say either Lewandowski or Rafinha starting on the bench. I think Pedri will start on the bench. Here's what I'll say. I think the lineup's going to be Martin on the left, Koundé on the right, Kubarsi, Araujo. I'm going to say it's going to be Frankie, Casado, and Olmo in the midfield, which is I don't think is a combination we've seen yet.
No, but I think it's about right. Sounds about right.
Yeah, that feels right. And then I would go Rafinha, Ferran, Lamine. Or Ferran, Lewandowski, Lamine. One of those two combinations. I'd almost rather have Rafinha to start and have Lewandowski come on in the second half.
Hansi Flick lost Fermin as a false winger for some reason.
I think that could happen, you know. Similar to what you said, John, almost. The only doubts I have whether it's Casado or Pedri. I think other than that, I completely agree with the defence. Obviously, Neki Peña starts in goal because of the red card to Szczesny. Yeah, midfield, either Casado or Pedri plus De Jong and Olmo, I think. No, surely, you'd think? Because I would say Fermin and Olmo, but it's quite...
carry over to Copa del Rey?
I think it will go straight to Copa, because obviously he can't wait for another Supercopa game, next year. He probably won't be here.
Yeah.
And then up front, I think Rafinha will start because he plays everything. And I think if anything, he'll take Lamine out for Ferran and do Ferran, Rafinha, Lewandowski.
Yeah.
Or obviously
he
does.
Check your headset. There's a little
yeah, sorry, it's messing up. Yeah, I can't get it back.
Okay. We're gonna get through all the little errors here today. Technical difficulties. It happens. We're gonna get through it. Anyway, didn't mean to cut you off there. All right. Okay, so Pablo, I think we just need a prediction from you. I'm saying 3-1. Buga, you said what? 3-2. Pablo, what do you got?
Mm, 3-1.
Okay, I like that.
3-2.
Let's name the. All right, I like that. Let's name the goal scorers then. I'm going, since we're all saying 3 goals. I'm going to say. This is actually kind of hard. I'm going to say. I'm going to say Olmo gets 1, Rafinha gets 1, Lewandowski gets 1.
In mine, because my lineup is not that form free. My lineup is Olmo, Frankie, Casado in the midfield, and then up top, Ferran, Fermin, Lewandowski. I'm gonna go Olmo goal. I'm gonna go on Fermin goal. I'm gonna go off the bench. I'm gonna go Pau Victor goal.
Wow. Okay, Pablo.
I'm gonna go Lewandowski, Olmo, and Fermin off the bench.
Okay. All right. Love it. Lock it in. Let's wrap up this episode with a quick little preview of Getafe. Barcelona, of course, sitting in 3rd in the Liga. I would predict a full strong starting 11 for this. I would think. As I say this, let me pull up what other matches we have going on. but I don't see any reason for us to not go full force in the Liga right now, except for the fact that we have Benfica in Champions League the following week. Man, this is tough. So we have Betis in Copa del Rey on the 15th, Getafe in the Liga on the 18th, Benfica away in Champions League on the 21st. I think that match is actually going to take priority. So I'm going to call for pretty heavy rotations against Getafe, actually.
Really? We can't drop any more points in the league though, John, else we're done.
I know, but it's a little bit of what we talked about earlier. If we don't win La Liga, but we get a Supercopa, we get a Copa del Rey, and we perform well in Champions League, I think that's still a successful season. So we can't drop points in either. We have a little bit of wiggle room in Champions League right now, but not a lot. It's a tough one. Because here's the thing, guys. We're sitting in second in Champions League right now, right? But we have 15 points. You can go all the way down to 12th, and that's only a match behind us. We could go from second to 13th in 1 week if we drop points and everybody else between 3 and 12 wins.
I think you go strong. Like it or not, you go strong.
It'll be interesting. Okay, then here's what I would do if I'm Hansi Flick. Keep in everything that we said against Betis. Against Getafe, I'm going to start off with a strong squad. As soon as we go up 2-0, I'm making rotations. I'm resting players so that we can have a strong squad against Benfica.
Yep.
But Getafe away, I mean, we'd be lucky to get out with a 1-0. That is going to be hell, by the way. It's going to be proper hell.
I don't know. I don't know what to do.
Bro, that's why we don't get paid the big bucks.
Yep, this is true. We get to just pick apart the decisions after the fact. Much easier gig. Here's what I want to see against Getafe. I want to see Fermin Lopez get some time. I want to see Pablo Torre get some time.
Pablo Torre. I forgot about him.
Everybody does. It's like he shows up, he plays pretty well, and then he's forgotten about. I would like to see both of them get some time. Gosh, this is a tough part of the season. It really is.
This is crucial in all three competitions now, really.
Yeah, all the way through the end of January. You look a little bit further.
Yeah.
So Benfica on the 21st, Valencia in La Liga on the 26th, and then back to Champions League on the 29th against Atalanta. Busy schedule, busy times.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I don't know. I guess the starting lineup is such a toss-up. I'd almost want to see what we do in the Copa del Rey before giving any predictions, but I don't even know. What do we think scoreline wise for Getafe? Let's do that and get on out of here.
I think I agree 1-0. 1-0 what Pablo said.
Yeah.
1-0.
1-0 and run.
Who's getting that goal?
Lewandowski. Generic.
Penalty spot.
Yeah.
I was going to say from the penalty spot. Yeah.
93rd minute.
Wow.
No.
Okay.
I don't think people realize how hellish that game is going to be, eh?
I know. I'm gonna say.
Bro, Bordelas is gonna be their manager till the day I die.
I'll go with 1-0 versus Getafe, but I'm gonna say Lamin's gonna get it. Scratch that. Rafinha's gonna get it. 1-0 to Barcelona versus Getafe. Rafinha gets the goal. We're in, we're out. We move on to Benfica.
We're in, we're out. So just get out of here.
Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. Well, that does it, gents. Another episode in the books. We'll see how we did. For the next pod, it'll be coming out next Monday. We'll review the results of Copa del Rey. We'll review the results against Getafe. And we'll give it a little match preview for Barcelona Benfica, which, again, I'm pretty nervous for Champions League. Our last two matches, Benfica, Atalanta. We've come this far. We're sitting in second in the group, but it is a tight table all the way down to mid-table there. So we'll see what happens, but thank you everybody for listening. We're glad to be back after that little winter break. So again, we'll be coming out with new episodes every Monday, so you get to enjoy everybody's favorite football podcast, Mes que un Podcast. We will see you next week, folks. Thanks for listening.
Peace.
Bye.